Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me again. It's a Gibson Melody Maker from '68, and man, these pickups sound great. I'm going to play it for you and let you hear them. It's got the old three-way switch. It reminds me of the guitar I got for Christmas in 1978. It was a KSG. It was kind of a copy of this. But my customer's already decided he's going to change the pickups. I mean, I really like these pickups. I wouldn't change them. I was noticing when I was talking to him about the repair that one of these volume knobs just doesn't seem to be working right, and I wondered if he wanted me to change it out for him since I was taking things apart. And he said, no, I'm going to change the pickups. And I was like, oh man, whatever. Anyways, the neck was broken. He bought it off Reverb, and he said that the guy gave him a super sweet deal. Well, because the whole thing was broken. The shipping company must have stepped on it or threw it off the truck or something. And I'll go through some still photos and show you the whole repair process, but this is the finished product. You know, it had the huge cracks through here. And well, you can see for yourself in the photos, but we'll take a little trip through and I'll narrate the whole process of touching up the paint and gluing it up, and then we'll give her a listen. I'm going to mention one more, that this guitar was made in Kalamazoo, Michigan in 1968, and I was made in Pontiac, Michigan in 1969. I just got to add that fun fact. Anyway, I couldn't believe how good these tuners still work, and look at these mamas. They're vintage. And they're smooth. Listen to this. If you like the Melody Maker headstock, this serial number is 003604. And it did have a neck crack. That wasn't a major concern. A lot of these do. It wasn't a bad one. Not a bad crack. Anyways, I'm going to show you something now. 1968 was an age of a wood known as Brazilian rosewood. And it's a nice reddish dark brown wood. It's no longer available for sale out of Brazil. It hasn't been for at least 30 years, I'd say. But when it was available, they used it up a lot. It must have been cheap. And people loved it. Still to this day, people love Brazilian rosewood. With a crack like this being so shallow or hard to open, I used hot hide glue because it's very liquidy. I tuned the strings up to F sharp, and it opened the gap enough to squeeze in enough hot hide glue to do the trick. Then I used these screw clamps, bar clamps basically. I had to reef down on them pretty hard. There was some kind of resistance inside. There was probably some wood fibers that were crossed. I couldn't clean them out. It's just one of those deals. So I reefed down it as hard as possible, and on the back side I made a little dent in the old lacquer, which was a bummer. But we were gonna do a neck reset because the action was so high. We thought we were gonna have to take this neck off, but I don't even know what the heck we're looking at here. I showed this to Trevor Healy, a guitar shop in Massachusetts, and he said, man, it looks like there's something missing. So I agree. I don't know what the heck. Where's the tenon? It's weird. After the glue up, I was left with a big old crack as usual. And so what I did, because the finishing schedule on this sparkling burgundy color, candy apple red, is a white primer coat, a gold coat in between, and then cherry red translucent lacquer on top. So that there you can see I've dropped in a little super glue to fill in the crack, and then a little bit of white lacquer. and then did a little bit of sanding. It was pretty lumpy. I didn't show you the gold step and the cherry red step that I put over this little white part, but it was done with a paintbrush, and then I took it out to the garage and sprayed with the airbrush cherry red with a little bit of red pigment. So just to give you an idea, I took 1 ounce of lacquer, thinned down, it was kind of like a flash coat of lacquer. I put in like 40 drops of cherry red and about half a teaspoon of red pigment, if that. Maybe it was more like 1/8 of a teaspoon. Well, it wasn't much at all. I didn't want to go crazy with the pigment. I wanted to camouflage the crack, but I didn't want to get rid of too much of the sparkle that the gold gives the translucent. And when you add pigment, you lose your transparency or your translucency. So I think I knew when to stop. I stopped here and shot some clear coats over the top. There it is. Oh my God, the KSG. K was an American guitar company, but in the 70s they started having these Japanese companies make their guitars. It still reminds me of Christmas Day, 1978. Okay, the bodies were made out of plywood. See the multi-layers of plywood here? And no, these are not the original. Nothing's original on this guitar. I remember how it played so badly. I tried in woodshop class in high school. In my junior year of high school, I tried to make a new neck for it with woodshop tools. It came out horrible. But I ended up replacing this. This is a carven neck, Dynasonic, and P90. None of this is original. All this stuff is non-original. Even the switches. The only thing that's original is the body and the what's left of the pickguard. But it actually sounds really cool now. Maybe I'll demo them both for you. I've got the scale here. I'm going to weigh these mamas. I'm going to see how much these mamas weigh. 6 pounds, 2.5 ounces on the Gibson Melody Maker. And on the KSG 1978, it's a little neck heavy, 6 pounds, 15 ounces. So nearly 7 pounds on the K and just around 6 on the Gibson Melody Maker. The K has 2 switches. Kind of funny. It's just a two throw switches. So this is the off position and that's the on position. So you can have the bridge on or the neck on or both of them on or both of them off. And just a volume and a tone for the K, which is kind of cool. Well, yes, the electronics are a little messed up on this. I noticed that the neck volume works as a tone control. So we've got some wires crossed inside here. It might be a good pot. That's the neck pickup. Here's both pickups. And here's the bridge. The bridge volume works like it should. Let's listen to that K. It's a bit more loud and distorted. Here's both pickups. And here's the bridge. Melody Maker has some nice clean sounding pickups. This one's a little nasty sounding. Thanks for watching.